Archaeologist Robert Morochik thinks Wu Ding needed these imperial outposts to guarantee supply of the metal ores.
And the movement of materials from mine to finished bronze vessel really is something like a highly choreographed industrial dance, where every aspect has to be organized and controlled in order to end up with the kind of sophisticated, beautiful ritual vessel that is needed for the Shang ceremonial use.
For Morochik, Wu Ding was doing more than trading long distances. He was also in the business of empire building.
It might very well be that these local inhabitants had a friendly trading relationship with the Shang, that they were getting something out of the deal itself. It might be that they're producing the metal and then trading it to these very eager Shang buyers who then transport it back to the north.
1,000 years before China's first emperor, Wu Ding and Fu Hao had an influence that stretched far beyond their capital at Anyang. May 2009, a construction site in Anyang. Builders have stumbled upon a previously unknown Shang cemetery. This newly excavated tomb is the largest they've found here. Director of Archaeology at Anyang, Tang Jigen, has come to take a closer look.
Think about more than 90% of tombs were looted in the past. So it is really rare for us to find a tomb like this. So we are really excited about this time because we have a lot to learn.
From the start, there are clues to suggest this is a high-status tomb.
The tomb owner must be a very important person. His tomb is a tomb with a ramped entrance, which is pretty unique, which is a shape only used for the people with a high social position.
The ramped entrance is one clue, and the tomb's treasures seem to confirm this.
Also, most importantly, the dead person was offered a lot of bronzes, potteries, even jades.
The tomb provides further evidence that Fu Hao lived in a time of great innovation and of trading connections that stretched way beyond China's borders. For nestling between the weapons is a curious bow-shaped object.
It's quite possible these two objects are imported from the north or northwest. So we have strong evidence to suggest that these two are used for driving of chariots.
Chariots. As archaeologists excavated around Anyang, they kept discovering these extraordinary wonders in the ground. Chariot burials over 3,000 years old have been unearthed, complete with horses and charioteers. The wooden structure has long since disintegrated, leaving a complete shadow of the chariot beautifully preserved in the soil. Though many have been found around the world, it's believed these chariots are the first in China. And they appear at Anyang during Wu Ding's reign. They would have given the war-obsessed Shang the edge on the battlefield.
Imagine seeing for the first time a chariot pulled by horses charging down on you. I mean, this is a large and imposing vehicle. I mean, it may have had a shock and awe, a psychological sort of advantage. The Shang chariot was, in a sense, the Rolls-Royce of the day. These were incredible status symbols. Picture Fu Hao standing there with her, symbolic acts of status, her Yue axe, standing on her chariot, decked out in her armor. It would have been quite a sight.
The Shang's technical expertise clearly extended far beyond their bronzeware. But the real mystery is that no chariots have been found in China from before Wu Ding's reign. So where did they come from? Rowan Fladd at Harvard University first considers where the horses came from.
Horses were first domesticated in the western steppe of Eurasia, so far to the west of Anyang, way out in this direction. Perhaps in the Ukraine or places slightly further to the east of there. So one possible route of entrance for domesticated horses into the area around Anyang might have been through this corridor, the so-called Northern Silk Route.
So the Shang may have been using their established trading routes to bring horses in from the west. And it seems they could have spotted the chariot at the same time.
I think chariots clearly came from western parts of Eurasia, the western steppe. Did they come through the Gansu corridor from where we already have domesticated horses? Or perhaps they came up here through the eastern steppe. All of these are possible routes through which the chariot was first experienced and then adopted from.
The Shang already had wheeled vehicles. But the evidence suggests the chariots they go on to create were a product of ingenuity and the sharing of ideas.
The chariots are pretty sophisticated technology. They have very sophisticated use of bent wood. The spoked wheels that exist in chariots are a technological advancement. These aspects of the chariotry would have been difficult for people to develop independently, I think, and would have perhaps required the people in the Anyang area to have had some additional stimulus from interactions with people who were using chariots outside of this region.
Wu Ding was king of a dynasty that was both ingenious and innovative. The Shang proved to be as technologically advanced with the chariot as they were with their bronzeware. December 2000, 24 years after the discovery of Fu Hao's rich, intact tomb, another is found nearby. And this one would also reveal an incredible story. From the start, this tomb, named M54, is clearly extraordinary. Fu Hao's remains were never found, but hidden amongst the burial goods in this grave lies the greatest treasure of all, the skeleton of the tomb owner. It's a rare find. The skeletons are often crushed as the coffin disintegrates. Archaeologist He Yuling leads the excavation team.
I realized at the time that a very important event may be happening in my life.
The finds keep coming. Fragments of gold are found, suggesting the coffin was once decorated in gold leaf. Gold is rare in Shang tombs. Then another intriguing find, a small bronze hand.
The position it was found was beside the lower part of the occupant's left leg. Here, beside the left shank. Here is where we found it.
Its position suggests the hand was originally in the coffin. Since the real hand was never found, perhaps this oddity was a very early artificial limb. Fu Hao was laid to rest with a large collection of bronze weapons. So too was this tomb owner. Some feature the unusual animal head designs typical of the far north, and others bear a name: Ya, or General Chang.
The earliest record of the Chang family dates back in the oracle bones, and the records continue all the way to the Western Zhou dynasty. From these discoveries, we can see that this family name is of great importance.
Ya Chang lived during the reign of Wu Ding's son. Like Fu Hao, he was a warrior, and an important one.
You can see, we get most of the bones.
Archaeologists Jing Ji-chun and James Burton investigate how he died. Curiously, Ya Chang's remains were surrounded by peppercorns, and some are embedded in the bones. As Jing and Burton look closer, they discover the bones are riddled with injuries.
Here's rib bones and with a cut mark, very obvious cut mark here, and so it's all on the left side. So apparently, he was attacked from by someone from the left side. Also,
it makes you wonder what he was doing with his right side.
Exactly, and then like this.
A deep crack in Ya Chang's left thigh bone is evidence of another severe injury. But as Jing and Burton explore the bones further, they discover the deepest injury of all. His hip bone bears the scars of a huge blow, most likely from a battle axe.
We believe the infection from a wound was terminal.
So these were probably the mortal wounds that resulted in his death. So that suggests he was actively involved in combat while he had his position.
Exactly.
And the wound bears traces of peppercorns. It seems the sophisticated Shang had an understanding of battlefield medicine. Peppercorns have an antibacterial quality and may have been used to prevent the spread of infection. Like Fu Hao, Ya Chang was buried with human sacrifices. 9 are ritual sacrifices, believed to be war captives, outsiders from the frontier regions. The other 6 are so-called retainers, members of Ya Chang's household, and scientists can't wait to get their hands on them. For the first time, they can discover the ethnic origins of the Shang. The tiny clay head found at Anyang with its Mongolian features suggests the ancestors of Fu Hao and her king Wu Ding may have come from the Mongolian steppes. Now science may provide some more concrete evidence. This will be found in the teeth of Ya Chang and his human sacrifices. Your teeth trap the minerals from where you were born.
Your bones will change chemically. They'll remodel and pick up your new diet. They grow, but the teeth don't do that. Once they're there, that chemistry of your childhood is locked in there.
That chemical signature is the ratio of 2 isotopes of the element strontium. Found in rocks, it gets into the soil through natural weathering. Then it moves into the food chain from plants to animals and to humans, becoming part of our bones and teeth. The archaeologists send the samples here, the University of North Carolina. A tiny amount of enamel is scraped off the tooth. The analysis requires a sophisticated piece of hardware called a mass spectrometer. It measures the differences in the ratios, and they're tiny, typically measured to a formidable-looking 5 decimal places. But the archaeological payoff can be significant. When the results come out, there's unexpected news.
It just turned out that when we got that first set of data, it was completely backwards.
Here's the result for the strontium analysis.
Jing plots the results on a graph. The horizontal red striped area represents the local strontium signal. The blue bars are the victims of ritual sacrifice. The analysis places these people within the local range. Science overturns all previous assumptions. They are not war captives as everyone had thought, but locals.
So this is really exciting. And then, of course, it's against the traditional hypothesis that the victims of the ritual killing were captives from the war.
Retainer sacrifices, members of the tomb owner's household, are assumed to be local people. Here again, the results are surprising. The yellow bars represent the retainers, and they're above the local range. These are the outsiders.
Which suggests they were born somewhere else.
The range of the results is large, suggesting Ya Chang's household contained a mix of people from across China. 3 of the 6 retainers are most likely from the north. And Ya Chang, it turns out, is also an outsider. The strontium signal in his teeth is the strongest of all. Curiously, Ya Chang came from a different place to the rest of his household.
It was really exciting when Jing came back and said, well, that's clearly the strongest non-local signal. Actually, my first reaction was, this is a little too neat.
The results spur Jing and Burton on to find out more. If not from Anyang, where did Ya Chang come from? The animal head weapons found in his tomb could suggest he was from Mongolia or even Siberia. Oxygen isotopes in his tooth enamel are now analyzed to try and solve this mystery once and for all. Water is made up of both hydrogen and heavy and light oxygen atoms. As rainfall moves in from the coast, heavy oxygen falls out of the atmosphere, leaving lighter and lighter water as you move inland.
The oxygen in his teeth is the heaviest of all the samples that we've measured, and that's consistent with being closer to the ocean, which would imply further, possibly towards the southeast.
So Ya Chang was a southerner. Scientists have yet to pinpoint an exact location, but it seems he was born near the modern Chinese city of Xinyang, over 400 kilometers away. It's a revelation. Anyang was a cosmopolitan place. Important outsiders like Ya Chang were welcome and made the Shang's capital city their home. This discovery leads one archaeologist to a radical vision of the world of Fu Hao and the Shang. Fu Hao's lord, King Wu Ding, was a visionary. Anyang flourished under his leadership. Professor Jing Ji-chun has spent most of his career investigating the Shang's last great capital and how Wu Ding came to create it. His researches have led him to an exciting new conclusion about the city he built. Subsurface coring has established the outer limits of the Bronze Age city that once stood here, over 3,000 years ago. Jing and his team take core samples. They're searching for rammed earth.
If let it dry, for the half hour, it's like a brick. You cannot really break it.
The tightly packed earth is evidence of foundations of temples, palaces, and even tombs. Anyang was once 30 square kilometers, one of the largest Bronze Age cities in the world. But Anyang was not the first Shang capital. In 1999, the team make a new discovery. Another city, an earlier Shang capital, sighted across the river.
All of a sudden, you have another city. So, of course, we experience all kind of the frustration, and even the people doubted the reality of the discovery.
Jing names this lost city Huanbei. 1,000 cores later, and it begins to take shape. It's a traditional rectangular walled city of almost 5 square kilometers, with a square palace and temple complex at its center. As they reach the city's foundations, they make an intriguing find: a layer of red burnt earth.
Very interesting. All the buildings within the interior city is covered by this is a layer for the red burnt earth, which suggests the whole building, the settlement within the interior city was burned down by the single fire.
When they examine the cause, unusually they find no evidence of human life. This leads Jing to a dramatic conclusion. The fire was deliberate.
The people who built this city, built this urban settlement, for some reason, decided to move the settlement to somewhere else. So they set the fire. They don't want to leave anything here. So, and this is a very interesting story we can tell.
Wu Ding moved his people south across the river and built a new capital. The city where he and Fu Hao lived was unique. Nothing like the ancient Chinese cities that came before or after Anyang. Wu Ding created a capital with a new shape, more irregular and organic, and without city walls. The archaeological evidence, the bones and teeth, suggest its population was a mix of ethnic groups, like Ya Chang. Jing concludes Wu Ding was a visionary who created a wealthy, cosmopolitan city full of dynamic people. But over 30 years after his death, Jing believes Anyang had become a very different place. The city had lost its multicultural diversity, and its strength began to wane. Seizing the opportunity, the Shang's neighbors and adversaries, the Western Zhou, swept into Anyang. The Zhou advanced eastwards to take control of central China. Over 500 years of Shang rule was at an end. China's first dynasty developed the first known writing in East Asia. Evolved the idea of the war chariot. And brought bronze making to its most advanced form in all the ancient world. And the woman at the heart of this civilization was the warrior queen, Fu Hao. Careful archaeological detective work has revealed her to be truly one of the most extraordinary women of the ancient world.